Welcome back to the Kentuckiana Hoops podcast. I'm Noah Brightstein.
And I'm Cole Thompson.
Today on the Kentuckiana Hoops podcast, Cole and I will talk about the 2022 class and which players received offers and calls from the Division I level.
All right, Noah, let's hop right into it today and get started with the class of 2022 in Kentucky.
To kick things off, you can look at Maker Barr. On the first day, he heard from WKU, Georgetown, and Cincinnati, and he got an offer, his first, from WKU. What do you think about Maker as a player?
Maker, I think he's a really great player, 6'10", pretty athletic. I think I want to see more of a jumping ability out of him and get it stronger legs and more bounce to him so he can be a high flyer.
Yeah, if he got a little bit more explosive, he'd be really good.
Yeah.
But he's in great shape. He's fast for his size. He can move really well. So
his shot, his coming off the dribble with the shot, it's looking really good. Saw him in the gym last week. He's really been working at it.
All right, let's go ahead and move on. And staying in the 7th region, James Jewell, who picked up an offer from North Texas on Tuesday. He also already had an offer from Tennessee Tech. And he heard at the highest, he heard from Cincinnati and Virginia Tech to the lowest at Moorhead with Xavier and Murray in between there.
Yeah, I think James, I saw a video of him the other day at working with Manimal Elite. He had a huge dunk in their 5-on-5 scrimmage. His athleticism, his skill, I think he's the complete player every D1 wants.
Yeah, for sure. The only thing that worries me about James is a little bit his motor, but when he's on, he is a baller. No one can question that.
100%. Now, I disagree about the motor. I actually watched him play against Ballard, I think it was, and I remember he had a huge steal and then dunked all over Rashad Bishop.
Wasn't Josh Mingus who dunked all over? That's just splitting hairs there. But James Jewell, it's easy to turn up for the big games like the 7th region, or that was the district final. But to turn up for a random Tuesday night game, that's when I kind of see him dial it back. He isn't always ready to go on a random Tuesday night, but once it's a big game, he's ready to go and he's going to play really well.
Right, I like his game a lot. Next is actually James Jewell's teammate Christian Spalding. He's their point guard, really good. He's 6'3", pretty athletic, explosive.
Did you see that video of him on Twitter? He was dunked 2 hands, almost windmilled.
Yeah, I like him.
So he already had 2 offers before Tuesday. So he had Tennessee Tech and Southeastern Louisiana. Once Tuesday came around, he heard from Murray, Belmont, Western, a bunch of just mid-majors and a few low majors.
Yeah, my prediction for him is a mid-major school just because he's got the height for the point guard. He's got the length. His measurables are really nice. I see him at a Murray State or a Belmont, somewhere like there in the.
He can score at multiple levels too. He's got a good jumper. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Howard Fleming, similar body type at that stage. Maybe more of a true point guard. Everyone calls Howard a point guard, but maybe more of a true point guard.
Yeah, Christian he's a heck of a passer.
All right. So Tim Hall, Manimal Elite kid, Paul Lawrence Dunbar. What do you think about him?
He's 6'6", 6'7". He might be the most athletic kid in the class.
Yeah, I was checking out his Twitter last night, doing some research for this, and he can jump out of the gym.
Yeah, he can fly. He's had a really good sophomore season with Dunbar. I really like his game. I expect him to tear it up on the AAU scene with James Jewell and the Manimal Elite team.
Yeah, he heard from Lipscomb, WKU, NKU, Youngstown State, Butler, and Western Carolina. And he's probably going to end up at that kind of range, mid-major, low-major guy. He has the measurables. If he can grow 2 more inches maybe and be a guy who can play a power forward, small forward type role, that would be really good for him. Hopefully the jumper develops in the next 2 years and he can step outside and be more confident on the perimeter, but he can be really good.
And speaking on it, talking about the first 4 kids, Maker, James, Christian, and Tim, they've all been contacted by WKU, so I think Rick Stansberry's doing really good reaching out to Kentucky's top players, getting a head start, and trying to keep them in state.
Yeah, another thing we skipped over, I just want to go back and tell everybody who the AAU teams and where they can see these kids are. Maker Barr is playing for Bradley Beal Elite on the EYBL. James Jewell and Christian Spalding are both playing for Manimal Elite in Kentucky. So just check those kids out for their AAU teams this summer at some point. Next up, we got Jordan Akal. What do you think about him?
So actually, my team played in the All-A Classic, and he actually played right after us against Paintsville. He was making shots from 35, 40 feet out. It was nuts. He can play. I think he had 30 or so that game against Paintsville, who was, legit
He's really
team.
athletic, too. Like, he's quick, shifty, hard to guard.
Oh, yeah. Super athletic. He's like 6'1", maybe 6'6", but he's dunking it. I mean, he's explosive.
What's his level, you think?
Well, I mean, Harlan's not super great, I know. But with him, he just makes them really good because he's just that type
Does he
of
make
guy.
everybody around him better, sort of like what Justin Powell did last year for North Oldham?
Yeah, I would say he's similar to him, but he's more of a I'm going to get mine, I think.
Yeah.
Just because, Justin Powell had other really good players around him.
I mean, that can be debated for a minute, but yeah, he had Dallas Roberts, is pretty good, Ian Higdon, Tyler Higdon, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he'll be a low major to mid-major kid.
All right. So next up, wait, who's he playing AU for? Jordan.
I think Griffin Elite.
Griffin Elite, yeah, that's right. Because he was with Matt's, yeah. So Matt's Mustangs, he left Matt's Mustangs and is playing for Griffin Elite. So coaches who are interested in seeing Jordan play, he'll be with Griffin Elite. Next up, we got Turner Buttry, who before Tuesday had an offer from EKU and Coach Hamilton. Since Tuesday, he was receiving an offer from Tusculum, which is a Division II.
Right.
He also heard from Evansville, Liberty, Western Carolina, Moorhead, UNC Wilmington, and Holy Cross. What do you think about Turner Buttry?
I think he's a really solid point guard. He is a true point guard. Really good off pick and rolls. He gets the rim finishes, shoots it really well. So
He works really hard. I mean, he's always all you see is him in the gym.
Well, he fits. I think he fits like the walk-on role, but I think he's not going to be a walk-on. He's going to be
He's going to be one of those guys who's a fringe Division I, fringe Division II, high major Division II guy.
Right.
Who's going to be he's going to work really hard and he's going to play wherever he goes because he works really hard. He's super, super skilled. It's just he's going to lack some athleticism that some of his peers are going to have. I mean, he reminds me, him and Jack Edelin, who's class of 2023 at Ballard, are really, really similar in the type of mentality they have when taken to the game.
right.
And
I didn't mean he's going to be a walk-on player.
Right.
He just fits that mold because he works so hard. And
Yeah.
he does lack a little bit of athleticism compared to some, D1 kids. But overall, playing, he's just as good.
Right, and he makes everyone around him better. Also, he's on he's playing for Manimal Elite, and they're loaded. They got some guys who are going to go Division I, so he's used to playing Division I talent. And Bowling Green, they have Isaiah Mason, who's going to go Division I. Connor Cooper is probably a Division I football player, so they got some guys. So next up, we have Kennedy Hayden. So he plays for Manimal Elite. I saw him the other day. He's about 6'4" now. He's gotten really big. So he's heard from WKU, Toledo, Southern Illinois, and Moorhead. What do you think about Keno?
I think Keno is. I wouldn't say he's a sleeper. I know he was injured last year for Ballard. Then he got sick, so he didn't play much during the season. But he can really go. I think he's going to be a low major to mid major kid, depending on how he comes back his junior season and how well he performs with Manimal Elite this summer.
Yeah, I think Keno has as much talent as pretty much anybody in the state. He's my guy. He knows this. If he just gives it a little bit more effort, he's going to be really good. I think he'll have a big year for us at Ballard next year. He's got to play alongside Jack, Edelin, and Gabe Sisk, and Maker, but I think he'll have a really big year, and no one's going to see it coming. Next up, we have Cade Stinnett, who is at Manimal.
He goes to Greenwood.
Right.
Down in Bowling Green.
He heard from Liberty, Lipscomb, Western Carolina, Belmont, and UIW. What do you think about Cade?
I think Cade's a scorer. He can score.
He's really, about 6'3".
Yeah, really good player. My prediction for him is low major D1. But, I think he's really developing as of recent, and I think for Manimal Elite, he's going to have a really good season for them just because his scoring ability is phenomenal.
So Terrell Cleaves is another guy he's going to be in the 6th region next year at J-Town. He's young, so I don't think he's turned 16 yet, and he's going to be a junior. He heard from WKU, NKU, Marshall, Youngstown State, and Lipscomb. What do you think about Terrell?
Terrell might have the most upside just because he's, I think, 6'4", still growing some. Really, measurables are D1 high major. So he
Jumps out the gym, out of the gym.
I mean, his jump shot's good, but if he really works on it and develops it, he'll be lights out. I mean, it'll just be tough to guard him. It'll be so tough. And then defensively, he can lock up just because if he really wants to sit down and play defense, he might be one of the best defenders in the state. But it depends on if he wants it or not.
Yeah, for sure. Another kid who I'm not sure what his situation is. He's either between J-Town and Jeffersonville.
Yeah.
Brandon Razor Moore. So he is about 6'5", 6'6", can really, really shoot the lights out of it. So he's heard from WKU, Belmont, NKU, and Youngstown State. What do you think about Brandon Razor Moore?
I honestly haven't seen much of him, but I've heard great things. I've seen on Twitter. He's a really good shooter. He can play defense when he wants to.
I mean, he's a really good shooter. That's pretty much what you're going to get out of him. He can score multiple ways off pull-ups, and he's got good size, so he's going to get to the rim. He's someone who's being slept on in the 2022 class. Coaches need to reach out for him. Do you know who he's playing AAU for, by chance?
I do not.
I think he was playing for Team Stamina last summer with which is Derek Anderson's team who played at UK. But I'm not sure who he's playing AAU for this year. Another guy we haven't really gotten to is Jerome Morton. I didn't see who he heard from. I know he's a really good player. He goes to George Rogers Clark. He's about 6'3". He's a 2-guard. Can really, really score it. I'm sure some coaches reached out to him. I haven't seen it on Twitter, but I know some coaches definitely reached out. And you know Riley Sammons from Pikeville?
Yes, actually, he's like 6'6".
Yeah.
Really good. I mean,
can shoot it.
Really good shooter. He's left-handed. He's a lefty, which I really like.
Super long.
Yeah, he might be one of the lengthier players in this class. But
I'm sure he heard from some people too. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, he did. I know that several schools have taken looks. I think UK has even taken a look at him just because of his upside. He's still growing.
Yeah.
Super athletic, and what I like about him is he just really gets after it, and he's a hustle kid. Always is hustling.
And another guy, I don't know if he has heard from anybody, but I'd be shocked if he hadn't. Miles Franklin at Trinity.
Yes.
He's a true point guard. 6'2", he controlled Trinity last year when he was on the court. He's really, really good. What do you think?
Yeah, I've known Miles for a while now, and he can really play. I've throughout the last probably 2 years, he's came a long way. He's developing more into a point guard because he's got great vision, great passing ability. He's been working on his jump shot, which is getting a lot better, but he can really get to the rim and handle the ball. And
he's a winner. In middle school, he was on 2 state title teams at Barrett, and then, freshman year jumps on. Before he got hurt, he was playing big minutes for a Trinity team that ended up winning the state title. So he is a true winner.
Another kid in this class I really like is Colby Fugate out of Paintsville.
He's another Manimal kid, right?
Manimal elite. He's like 6'5". Again, he's kind of like Cade Stennett, just taller, but just flat out can put the ball in the basket.
Isn't he a football player? No, Manimal had a kid last year who's a really, really good football player. I thought it was him, but all right. Well, now here's a break for our sponsor. All right, welcome back from the break. Over the break, we found out that it was Caden Veldkamp, who's the guy who played for Manimal last year, who is a really, really high-level football player.
Also, we forgot to mention that Colby Fugate out of Paintsville does have an offer from Division II West Virginia Wesleyan.
All right, so now that we've kind of wrapped up the class of 22 in Kentucky, we're going to move on to the class of 22 in Indiana. So we're going to start with Jalen Washington, who's a 5-star, ranked as the 15th best player in the country by ESPN. He's 6'8". All right, Cole.
So he has several offers like Alabama, Maryland, DePaul, Indiana, Iowa, Purdue. So he's going to be a high-level kid. He actually got injured, but it didn't affect his ranking or anything. But he tore his right ACL.
And he's got some experience with Team USA, right?
Yeah, he does. He did.
So he's been playing with high level players for a while.
Right. Even with this injury, he'll still be a high major kid. And no offers were stripped from him while he wasn't able, or his sophomore campaign was shortened.
All right. So next we'll talk about CJ Gunn. He's a 6'5" shooting guard from Lawrence North. He's got offers from Alabama State, and Kansas State. So what do you know about CJ Gunn?
Well, I saw on social media the other day, too, he's been contacted recently by Michigan State, Butler, Illinois, Cincinnati, Ohio State, Purdue, and Indiana.
So he's going to have a chance to go high major.
Right,
much.
yeah. I mean, he's got the high major looks for sure. So
and plus, Kansas State's already called, so.
Right. Yeah, so he's a
athletic finisher. He really likes to get to the basket. He's really active defensively. He likes to get steals. He's in the passing lane.
Yeah, because he's really lengthy,
really long.
So he can really get in the passing
He blocks
lanes.
shots really well for a guard. You wouldn't really think it, but he blocks shots.
Next, let's go with Will Loving-Watts, who we know probably most about because he does spend a lot of time here in Louisville.
Right, and I mean he's right across the river at Jeff. So, so he is actually. So last year the deal with him was he played the first 15 or so games with Jeffersonville, and he ended up leaving the team. And so everyone was kind of up in the air. Where's Will going to go next year? Where's he going to go? And everyone was talking La Lumiere, Lawrence North. Where else did we hear?
There was some rumor he was going to come over here to Louisville.
New Albany, but so it's pretty certain and set in stone that he is headed back to Jeffersonville next year.
Which is great for them and Coach Grant's.
Right, Coach Grant's is getting his most talented player from last year's team back. And so he had Bradley before Tuesday, but on Tuesday Wichita State called and offered him, and he's had contact from Louisville and Indiana, and I'm sure other schools have contacted him. He's a really high major kid. What do you think about him?
I think he's a really hardworking player. He does have an ego, as you can tell, because he left the team. But besides that, I mean, he can really play.
He's 6'4". He's about 175 pounds. He's really athletic.
He's explosive to the rim. I mean, I've seen videos of him where he just off two right there in the post, straight up, and dunk it. But he's not going to play the post at the college level because he only is 6'4", 6'5".
He doesn't play the post for Indiana Elite. I mean, he's a two guard. He can dribble. He's really good. He's really skilled. What you'd like to see is a little bit more of his jump shot start to develop. But as that comes along, he's going to be a really, really good player at a high major program in the next 3 years.
Right. Next, let's go to Julian Norris Jr., who's got offers from Murray State, Middle Tennessee State. He's a 3-star. He likes to shoot the ball.
He's really, really skinny. If he gets some weight on him, he'll be really good actually.
100%.
I mean, you see point guards and combo guards kind of go to Murray and have great careers. So if Murray's recruiting you and you're a point guard, they have to see something. So
and I think he fits that mold because Julian has great floaters and a great pull-up game. I mean, his pull-ups are phenomenal.
He's shifty too. He's got that kind of like shifty quickness you like to see in your point guard.
And I mean, Murray State loves those type of guards. You think of John Morant, who's great athleticism, really shifty.
Right, and they got a kid right now there who's kind of similar build, who's going into a sophomore year, who had a really good freshman year. I'm drawing on the name, but yeah.
Next, let's go Deontay Davis. I think he's the second best player in the class behind Jalen Washington. He's got offers from Indiana, Purdue, Louisville, Butler, Xavier, and Nebraska. Plays with Indy Heat on the AAU circuit, so
he's playing around high-level kids. I mean, Indy Heat is – I mean, there's EYBL and there's Gauntlet teams in Indiana. It's Indiana Elite and it's Indy Heat. Those two teams are both the highest level of AAU basketball at the moment.
Right.
And
Deontay's 6'6". He needs to put some more weight on right now. He's only 170, 175. So a little bit more weight, about 10, 15 pounds, and he'll be a force, dude.
He's got a really good looking shooting stroke too.
Yes, great motor on him. He locks down defensively, plays hard. I'm a huge fan of his game, and I think he's going to be a high major kid.
Yeah, and he's working on the pull-up game. You can see him start to improve with his jumper and his pull-up game. So I'm excited, yeah. He's going to be really good. Kamari Lands is another guy. He's got offers from Syracuse, Marquette, Texas Tech, Xavier. He's a 4-star.
So he's got some high majors already.
I mean, all those are high majors, yeah.
Right, and he goes to La Lumiere.
Yep, who is, I mean, if anyone who follows basketball knows La Lumiere is
one of the premier prep schools
in the country.
Yeah.
They play a national schedule every year. They just produce dude after dude after dude who's going to the high major level.
What I like about Kamari is he's an elite scorer. He, like Colby and like Cade Sennett from over Kentucky, Kamari is probably better than both of them, and more.
No question. No question.
But he's just like them, similar. Score, puts the ball.
6'5", 195, super athlete.
Yeah, he's got more to his game, but scoring is
his wiggle's really good. Like a lot of guys that height kind of lose some of their wiggle, but he's just super shifty. He's got that good wiggle that you love to see in a ball handler. His pull-up game is he can pull up with the in between the legs real quick, pull up. He's got the floaters, so he likes that. So now we're going to move on to Caden Stanton, New Albany kid. He's actually from Louisville. What do you think about Caden?
He plays for Indiana Elite, which is a great program. I mean, he's a 6'2" point guard. He fits the D1 mold. I know Belmont's reached out. I think Ball State has as well.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple others. But I really like his game. I think he's a really great shooter. Plays hard all the time.
He averaged 15 a game last year at New Albany, and they've been down kind of since Romeo Langford left and Sean East, but he makes everyone around him better. He's a true point guard. He can shoot it, and he's on Indiana Elite, which is, like I've been saying, they're a premier program in the state of Indiana. So he's been around high-level players, and he knows what it takes to win games with high-level players.
Right. And next, let's move on to...
Well, actually, he comes from a family of basketball players. His brother, Demetrius Stanton, is actually was an NAIA All-American at IU Southeast. So, I mean, he just comes from a family with guys who know how to play the game.
Yeah, for sure. And next, let's move on to J.J. Loudon out of Pike. He's a 6'4" point guard. He's a combo guard, really. 6'4" combo guard. Plays really hard defensively, really gets into passing lanes and uses his athleticism as an advantage over most kids he plays against. And, I mean, his jump shot, great-looking jump shot, and, I mean, it goes in.
He doesn't have any offers yet, but he's heard from Ball State, Cincinnati, Loyola, Xavier, and IUPUI. So he's kind of, I mean, topping out at Cincinnati and Xavier and then kind of mid-major guy all around. So you could see him anywhere pretty much. I'd probably predict somewhere in the mid-major, low-major level, but you never know. Hopefully he has a big year and can blow up next year. Next up, we're talking about Tayshawn Comer. He has an offer from Miami, Ohio. He's super tough around the cup. He likes to finish either hand. He can finish with contact. He's another shifty guard. His ability to pass is really what separates him from other guards. He can pass with either hand. He likes no looks. So once he gets around better players, he's going to be one of those guys who you see average 6+ assists a game because he has guys who are finishing at a high level around him.
For sure. I think another kid, whenever you mention guards, you got to think, Leland Walker definitely has to come to mind. He's talked to Purdue, Xavier, IUPUI, Middle Tennessee State. He's only 5'10", so he's on the smaller side. Smaller side.
He's got elite athleticism and a super tight handle. What else do you think?
He might be the shiftiest guard in the state. He's just so quick, great handle, like you said. And I mean, if you watch video of him, he takes it right to a 6'6", and he's putting
it on his head. Like he can finish over anybody. He's legit.
Well, he's not dunking, but he's right there, and his layup package is phenomenal.
Yeah, he can go. Davion Turner is another guy. He's heard from a ton of schools: San Diego, Kent State, Evansville, Illinois State, Youngstown State, etc., Eastern Carolina. So he plays for Team Teague. He goes to Anderson. He's got a really good pull-up game. So he shoots it from anywhere. He can literally shoot it from anywhere. As soon as he crosses half court, he can let that thing fly. He's got a good pull-up game, so he comes down 1 or 2 dribble quick and pulls up. He's right-handed, so he likes to finish a lot with the right around the rim. If he can develop the left hand a little bit more, he could be really good.
For sure.
He's a little bit undersized at 5'10", but hopefully he can either grow a little bit, or regardless, he'll end up being a low major, mid major guy. He can play. Who's next?
Oh, next we have Connor Essingen, who has a Purdue Fort Wayne offer.
That's his only Division I, right?
That's his only D1, but he does have several NAIA and Division II offers
Right,
as
he's
well.
got University of South Indiana.
Right, he's got USI, he's got like Northwood, University or Indiana Wesleyan University.
Right, he's got Grace.
Yep.
Uh,
So he's got
Indiana
several.
Tech.
So he's got several other offers besides the D1. So I mean, to me, I think he is a low major D1 player.
He's got great size. He can shoot it.
Right. He is 6'4". He's got a great motor. He had 24 a game last
I know.
year.
So I mean, if you're scoring 24 a game, I don't care the competition level. You can flat out get buckets. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, I see him at a low major D1, but if he wants to be the man right away, NAIA or D2 might be the best route for him if he wants to average 20 a game.
Yeah, it depends on what he's looking for in a school. He can definitely go to Purdue Fort Wayne and be a role player right away, or not right away, but be a role player by the end of his career, or he can go right to the NAI or the Division II level and get to play right away and end up being an All-American at that level.
And next, I mean, we have a kid who actually just caught my eye the other day, really, seeing him play AAU, is Ahmad Gerard, who has heard from Purdue, Belmont, Ball State, Indiana State, and Appalachian State. Plays for Indiana Elite, 6'5".
I saw that video of him taking off on a kid the other day, finishing right on his head. He can really jump.
What I like about his game is he's a big-time athlete.
Yeah, I mean, he likes to rip right off the catch and attack the rim. He can finish. Right-handed kid. He is working on the jumper. It's coming along. So yeah, he's looking pretty good.
Yeah, so you can find him playing with Indiana Elite, and he also attends school at Mount Vernon in Indiana. So I think he's definitely one that more coaches need to take a look at, just because if they want a big-time athlete who fits the D1 mold, he's your guy.
All right, and so we're going to shout out our editor real quick, who's right here in the room with us. If you need any editing information or any editing done, William Rue is more than happy to help out in any way. William, give him your Twitter and your Instagram.
Follow me on Instagram at Will Rue and Twitter at Will Rue1.
All right, thanks, William. He's a great
Thank you for listening to the Kentuckiana Hoops podcast. This is Cole Thompson.
And I'm Noah Breitenstein. Make sure to check out our website at www.kentuckianahoops.net. This website features exclusive content found nowhere else, which includes boys and girls classes 2021 through 2024, player profiles, recruiting information, highlights, stats, watch lists, and much more. For only $10 a month for the year, you have access to exclusive content found only on our website. Just go to www.kentuckianahoops.net.
Also, follow us on Twitter at KYINHoops and Instagram at Kentuckiana Hoops. Thank you. Hoops. Thank you. Because none of us are